On Saturday, October 20th, in Brooklyn, at the new Barclays Center, the new home of the Nets, boxing will make its debut when Danny Garcia makes a defense of his WBC super lightweight title against legend Erik Morales. This is a rematch of a fight they had earlier this year, and it was an interesting one. For the 36-year-old Morales, a 19-year pro, the only Mexican fighter to win titles in 4 different weight classes, that fight with Garcia was one in which he was competitive back on March 24th, but couldn't quite get it done and came into the fight 2 pounds overweight and actually gave up his title on the scales, but then Garcia won it in the ring. Morales faded in the second half of that fight and was even knocked down in the 11th round. He claims that came because he went into the fight too soon after a gallbladder operation that he had had leading up to the fight. We'll find out in this fight whether he, at age 36, can handle those later rounds. For the undefeated Garcia, a 24-year-old from Philadelphia, he comes in off an upset win over Amir Khan. Garcia was losing badly in the first 2 rounds, being hit repeatedly by right hands from Khan. But in the 3rd round, he would put Amir down, and then he would stop him in the 4th for this stunning victory. Now he rematches with Erik Morales, the man he won the title from, and he hopes to make this win even more definitive. Let's take a look at the keys to victory to see how he might do it. Danny Garcia needs to go to the body early in this fight. When you're facing a 36-year-old who's in the twilight of his career, you want to attack that body early in the fight. And he's got to push the pace. He didn't really do that as much as he would have liked, I don't think, in the first Morales fight. Might have been able to stop the fight had he done that. And the right hand is a big weapon for him, especially against Morales, who tends to back himself against the ropes these days. For Erik Morales, he's got the jab with conviction. He did show a very good jab in their first fight, but there were times when he used it too much as a rangefinder. Garcia tends to cut. That jab could do the job. He's got to stay off the ropes. Even though he's very clever fighting off those ropes in terms of evading punches from time to time, he got himself in trouble when he was in that posture in their first fight. He too needs to land the right hand. It needs to be a straight one from Erik Morales, and he's got to try and get that punch home over the low left hand of Danny Garcia. Well, is Danny Garcia at age 24 a flash in the pan in terms of fighting on the elite level in the 140-pound division? Everyone thought of him as a solid fighter, but not necessarily a great fighter, and he was getting beaten by Amir Khan before he knocked him out. A decisive win over Erik Morales would go a long way toward convincing people he is in the elite of what is one of boxing's best weight divisions. For Erik Morales at 36, this is, he admits, a very important fight to even be able to continue his career. If he can perform exceedingly well in this fight or win it, he will have achieved what he wanted to in this fight and will assure himself a couple more big fights. Now, the match will be shown on Showtime in the United States. I'll be happy to be at ringside announcing that. And it'll be shown on the Super Channel in Canada. And of course, we are going to have full coverage of this match on the Boxing Channel, so be sure and tune in.